In this lesson, we will be looking at some direct variation situations. Direct variation situation is something where you look at how two quantities interact with each other. And in a direct variation, as one quantity increases, the other quantity also increases. Or if one quantity decreases, it causes the other quantity to decrease as well. But basically, the two quantities always have the same movement. They either both increase or they both decrease, and that means it's a direct variation. It has a basic equation. It's y equals kx. That k stands for a constant. It is something you're going to be finding. And we'll talk more about that as we get to a problem. An example of a direct variation situation would be a price of a home increases as the square footage of the home increases. So if the square footage increases, the price increases. If the square footage is smaller, the price is smaller. But they both move the same direction. Same thing with your shoe size. The bigger the shoe size, the bigger the foot, or vice versa. But they both move the same direction. Okay, so you're going to be given some problems. This first one is if z varies directly as w and w equals 12 when z equals negative 3, then find z when w equals 16. I gave you this basic equation at the top, the y equals kx. That is just your basic equation. You're going to probably have some different variables and different things you're going to plug in. Your goal in this case is to be able to write an equation and go from there. So I'm going to start with this first sentence. If z varies directly as w. In this case, the z, whenever it says varies directly as, that's where you're going to put your equal sign. And then you need a constant in there. And the constant will always be k, so I'm going to need a constant. And in this case, z varies directly as w. So that k is the constant that needs to go in front of w. Here's your equation you're looking at. And what you're going to do is you are going to take the first goal you want to do is be able to find your constant, okay? So in this case, I know that w is 12 when z equals negative 3. So w is 12 when z equals negative 3, and I don't know my constant. But if I go just that far, and only that far, I should be able to figure out what my constant is. So I will divide by 12 to solve for k. And k equals negative 3/12, which is negative 1/4. Okay, I'm not done, but now I know that's my constant. So now I can go to this red equation and I can make it a little more specific, and I can say z equals negative 1/4, because that's what my k value is, times w. So the next thing I want to find is I want to find z when w equals 16. So now I'm going to use this, and I'm going to find z. I now know my constant is negative 1/4, and if w is 16, I should be able to find z pretty easily, and negative 1/4 times 16, of course, is negative 4. And that's what answers that question. But the first thing you're going to do is plug in the variables you're given at the beginning to find your constant, and then once you know your constant, kind of go to your second sentence to plug in what you need to find the missing variable.